What truly drives financial success? I mean, is it all about complex algorithms and secret market knowledge? Or maybe something, well, something more human?
That's exactly what we were exploring today. We're diving into Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money. It's a fantastic look at wealth from a behavioral angle.
Right. And our mission here isn't, getting lost in stock charts or jargon.
No, definitely not. We're unpacking how our own behavior, our emotions, our biases, how they really shape our financial lives. Housel lays it out in these 20 short essays. Timeless stuff, really, not just rigid plans.
And for you listening right now, this is about getting those key insights fast. Maybe you're prepping for something or just curious about why we make the money decisions we do.
Yeah, we're aiming for those aha moments. Kind of a shortcut to understanding the human side of money without getting bogged down.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Housel flips the script almost immediately. He says financial success isn't a hard science. That feels counterintuitive, doesn't it? What's he getting at?
It really does challenge the usual view. He puts it very clearly. Financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill, where how you behave is more important than what you know.
A soft skill, like patience, discipline, things like that.
Exactly. Patience, discipline, emotional control. He argues these are actually more valuable than knowing all the technical market details.
Huh. So, if knowledge isn't the absolute king, what does that mean for how we should even learn about finance?
Well, it pushes us beyond just memorizing formulas,
Yeah.
right? It suggests we need to understand ourselves, our own tendencies, just as much.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting for me. Housel talks about these powerful forces that are often overlooked, things maybe outside our direct control.
Yes, absolutely. He brings up luck and risk.
Yes.
Says they're basically two sides of the same coin.
Influencing success and failure equally.
Pretty much. He stresses how important it is to just acknowledge their role when we look at financial outcomes. It stops us from thinking everything is purely down to skill or effort.
So we shouldn't get too carried away by amazing success stories or too down about failures.
That's the gist. He's got that great quote, "Nothing is as good or as bad as it seems." It's a reminder that there's always this element of randomness playing a part.
So if luck and risk play such a big role, and it's not all about genius moves, what does Housel say is the reliable way to build wealth over time? It sounds like it's not about chasing those quick wins.
Definitely not. He hammers home the importance of long-term thinking and the power of compounding. It's quiet, but incredibly effective over time.
He uses Warren Buffett as an example, right?
It does. And the key point isn't just that Buffett is smart, but that he's been smart consistently for a very, very long time. That consistency is crucial.
So it's less about making brilliant decisions all the time.
And more about, as Housel puts it, consistently not screwing up. It's about staying in the game, letting time and compounding do their work. Avoid the big mistakes.
This next insight really made me pause. We tend to associate wealth with, fancy cars, big houses, showing it off. But Housel has a completely different take.
He really pushes back against that. He argues that showing off wealth, spending money to signal how much you have, is actually counterproductive.
Because real wealth is different.
Exactly. Real wealth is silent. It's the money you don't spend. It's the savings, the investments working for you unseen. It's the freedom that money provides.
Not the visible consumption.
Right. He says it very bluntly. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. It's about accumulation, not display.
Okay, so if wealth isn't about the flashy stuff, what is the ultimate goal? What's the best thing money can actually buy us?
Freedom. Housel argues quite compellingly that money's greatest value is its ability to give you control over your own time.
Control over your time. That's interesting. That's not usually the focus in finance books, is it?
Not typically. They focus on returns, accumulation targets. But Housel says, look, the real payoff is waking up and deciding what you want to do with your day. You're not being forced into things just to earn more.
That independence.
Precisely. He calls controlling your time the highest dividend money pays. It's a profound way to think about the purpose of wealth.
Now, we all like to think we're rational, especially with money. We weigh the options, make the smart choice. But Housel gives us a bit of a reality check on that, doesn't he?
He really does. He reminds us, quite simply, that we aren't robots. We're not spreadsheets.
You're human.
We're human. And we don't always make the purely optimal financial choice in a cold, calculated sense. And maybe that's okay.
Okay, how so?
Well, Housel makes this great distinction between being rational and being reasonable. What's technically rational on paper might not be sustainable for a real person with emotions and, life happening.
So doing something that's maybe slightly less optimal mathematically, but easier to stick with long term, that might be better.
That's the idea. Being reasonable, making choices that fit your psychology and circumstances might be more practical and lead to better outcomes in the real world. He says, you're not a spreadsheet. You're a person.
I like that. It feels more forgiving somehow. So, stepping back, it's clear this book is less about formulas and more about us, about people. What do you see as its biggest strengths for our listener?
I think the biggest strengths are its simplicity and how relatable it is. There's basically no jargon, so anyone can pick it up.
Very accessible.
Very. And the human-centered approach, focusing on behavior and emotions, feels really fresh compared to standard finance books. Plus, it uses stories and anecdotes really well. Makes the ideas stick.
And the advice feels timeless too, right? Not just about the current market.
Exactly. It's evergreen stuff. Principles that apply regardless of what the market is doing today.
Okay, but for a balanced view, no book is perfect. Were there any criticisms or areas where maybe readers wanted a bit more?
Sure. Some people find it a little repetitive in places, like certain themes get revisited across different chapters. And if you're looking for specific, actionable how-to investment strategies, you won't really find them here. It's much more about the mindset.
More philosophical.
Right. And some felt the short chapters, while easy to read, maybe could have gone a bit deeper on some topics. It tells you who this book is, really. For someone looking to understand their thinking, not get stock tips.
Got it. So let's distill this down. If you, our listener, were to take away just a few key messages from The Psychology of Money, what would be the most important nuggets?
Okay, 5 big ones stand out for me. First, save more than you think. Even without a specific goal, just save. It creates options, immense value there.
Just building that buffer, that flexibility.
Exactly. Second, tail events matter. Those rare, extreme events, good or bad, often have a much bigger impact than all the day-to-day stuff. Recognize their power.
Don't underestimate the outliers.
Precisely. Third, avoid extremes. Consistency usually wins. Trying to hit home runs all the time is risky. Just staying steady is often better.
Makes sense. What's number 4?
Fourth, everyone has a different game. Don't just copy what others are doing. Their goals, their timelines, their risk tolerance, it's all different from yours. Play your own game.
Crucial point. And the last one.
And finally, number 5, embrace uncertainty. The future is unknowable. You can't predict everything, so plan with flexibility. Build in room for error.
Great summary. It really feels like The Psychology of Money is just a very thoughtful, refreshing way to approach finance. It shifts the focus from just numbers to understanding ourselves. Our source gave it a solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's not a book that's going to teach you how to beat the market, let's be clear.
Oh.
But it absolutely will help you understand yourself better when it comes to money. And honestly, in the long run, that might be even more valuable.
So a final thought for everyone listening. If money's highest dividend really is freedom, as Housel suggests, how might understanding your own financial behaviors, your own psychology around money, help you invest not just in assets, but truly in the life you actually want to live?